Britannia Royal Naval College.
When you see the building the first time, it's quite overwhelming.
The United Kingdom's sole dedicated officer training establishment for Royal Navy officers.
Massive butterflies. It's just that sort of feeling of, oh my God, I'm here.
It's been providing world-class Royal Navy officer training since 1905.
It's quite a proud moment to think that you're going to become part of that.
Former cadets include royal family members.
Jumping off the coach, and you can sort of imagine 40 years ago, His Royal Highness Prince of Wales doing the same thing.
Nowadays, it trains officer cadets from more than 20 navies all over the world.
It was your decision to be here. If you don't like it, you know where the main gate is.
With unprecedented access, our cameras follow an intake of aspiring officers throughout the punishing 28-week training course.
Now, the training is going to be hard. I'm glad we're testing you in this way, because we need to be sure that you've got what it takes to lead men and women in battle.
Most have absolutely no previous naval experience.
What's up with you, sweetheart? Knees up!
The first couple of days, I was thinking an awful lot, why am I here? What am I doing to myself?
Fire, fire, fire! Fire in one foot,
We follow their journey from Civvy Street to military leadership in the world's most prestigious navy. Many will lose their battle.
Some of you will fail. Failure is good. It's healthy. It's a reward for those that remain.
But those who succeed will follow in the footsteps of generations of courageous British naval heroes.
You kind of think, if I can just get through this, I can get through that door and get on with my career.
Naval officers, carry on!
It's September. These 150 young men and women are starting out on a life-changing experience. They are the latest batch of candidates accepted by the College for Officer Training. Their mission? To graduate as naval officers in just 28 weeks' time. Better known in the Royal Navy as Dartmouth, after the picturesque Devon town it overlooks, this historic college will be home for most of their training. Sir Aston Webb, the architect of Buckingham Palace, designed it, and it sits on 126 acres, gifted to Sir Francis Drake by Queen Elizabeth I. The trainee officers will be following in the footsteps of a host of royal family members, including George VI and Princes Charles, Andrew and William. And the Duke of Edinburgh was studying here when he is said to have started courting the then Princess Elizabeth in 1939. The officer in charge of training the newcomers welcomes them with a friendly warning.
The training is going to be hard. I'm glad we're testing you in this way, because we need to be sure that you've got what it takes to lead men and women in battle if the need arises.
Left. Vanguard Division. Left. Wing.
Most of the hopefuls are completely new to military life, so the first phase of officer training is all about militarisation. They need to get rid of their bad civilian habits.
The first 2 weeks, and in fact the first 7 weeks really, are looking at changing that civilian person to a military person. So it's introducing them to the parade staff so they can instill in them that military bearing, making sure that they're timely, making sure that their kit is of the highest standard, making sure they know how to behave in a manner which is what we'd expect of a naval officer. They're nervous, they're keen to impress, and it's a case of harnessing that and trying to focus them to the big milestone they have to achieve, the first one being what we call here locally Frantic Friday.
The cadets have a fortnight to get ready for Frantic Friday, a manic day of full-on activity. They will be tested on everything they've learned up to that point.
It says day bag. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a day bag. Right.
As they prepare to pass Frantic Friday, the cadets can expect a routine of incredibly long, exhausting days. Physical exercise is central to militarisation. If nothing else, the officer cadets, as they're known, or OCs, will be super fit by the time they complete the course. It's designed to improve fitness, build self-confidence and nurture teamwork. The cadets' ability to be confident future naval leaders will also be tested in the classroom. It starts with them standing in front of their new colleagues and the college's top brass and chatting about themselves for 1 minute. O.C. Richardson is the youngest member of Ambush Division.
Good morning, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambush Division. My name is George William Richardson. I've just left school. I went to Mill Hill School in North London. My hobbies include singing, acting and building Lego structures.
People have said so far I'm not probably the least militaristic in at least our division. I came out of school mostly singing and acting. I was in the CCF, but so far this is a bit of a culture shock for me. I'm keeping up and I'm enjoying it.
George, what do you think you bring to this rather mature audience?
Possibly my youthful naivety and bright outlook.
It's never been a case of I'd rather be an actor. It's always been a case of one or the other. So when I looked into it a bit more, it was a case of acting would probably not provide me with something very sustainable. So I decided I'd come here and try it out, and it's going well so far.
I'm Officer Goddard, and I'm 20 years old, and I've joined the warfare branch at Dartmouth.
This is Officer Cadet Goddard's second time around. She started her training with the previous intake, but failed the leadership exercises at the end of last term.
What piece of advice would you give the rest of Ambush Division that you learned from your experiences here?
Don't see yourself off by failing anything.
Cadets who don't make the grade are given extra training. Those who repeat a term, like O.C. Goddard, are known as backphasers.
Last term I did the full 14 weeks, but got backphased at week 12. Being here for a second time round, I know there's more pressure on me, and I know I'm being judged on what I did previously, so pretty much fitness wasn't great last time, so upped my fitness a lot. And then all my academics, I know I've got to work twice as hard, but definitely a lot more pressure this term because I know, you know, this is my second chance, don't want to mess it up. There's a lot of people counting on me and I've got a lot to improve on.
Unlike most of the new recruits, O.C. Kitson is already Royal Navy through and through.
Good morning, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambush Division. I am Matt Kitson. I'm just transferred from the Royal Marines, served 8 years, served in Afghanistan, completed Arctic warfare and jungle training. I was a heavy weapons specialist, so specialised in heavy machine guns and anti-tank weapons. I joined the Navy because my passion's flying and I've always had the aspirations of being an officer.
How old are you now?
24.
So you joined at 16?
I did, yeah. Cheeky little schoolboy. I'm married, got a 3-year-old son, so it makes it a bit difficult coming away from them. I'm used to going away from them, but not when I'm 40 miles down the road.
What can you bring to this group of people?
I know that I can push myself for a long way, and I think if people believe in that, they'll get through this quite easily.
Scott! Right! Turn! Round up! Not good enough, not snappy enough, not enough panache, and not loud enough. Scott!
While Ambush Division get to know each other, their rivals in Victorious Division are getting their first taste of marching practice.
To the front, salute, up, 2, 3, cut! Nothing annoys me more than 200 people doing it right and one person doing it wrong. It is like looking out on my wonderful collection of Rice Krispies and finding a cornflake. Don't be that cornflake. We have to sort that out, we've got to tie that up, we?
O.C. Suttle's last job was completely different. She was a waitress in London.
My name's Celia Suttle. I'm from Nottingham. I'm 24 years old. I went to university in Aberystwyth. I studied physics, planetary and space physics initially because I wanted to be an astronomer. However, doing the degree put me off it a little bit. So when I left university, I didn't really know what to do at all. I've never really been in a situation where it's on me to be the actual leader. So I'm quite nervous about being able to control my colleagues. I'm not a particularly tidy person. My bedroom is a mess. And here, everything has to be squared away, tidied, not a speck of dust anywhere. When I had a job, I could get up 8 o'clock, which I thought was early, but not anymore.
OK, don't worry about that. Just get the feet right first. Let's get the feet right first. 1,
As a Royal Navy reservist, O.C. Robinson has had some naval training experience. Still, militarisation has come as a big shock.
I have to say, I was having second thoughts about what I'd actually sign myself up for. It's very overwhelming, I would say. I've done some basic stuff before as a rating, but I think this was a little bit more complicated. You're given a lot more direction as a rating, whereas an officer you're supposed to just get on with yourself, really, which I suppose what it's all about. I live with my partner and we have quite a nice home. Here I'm sleeping in a bunk with 6 other guys, and also in a single bunk bed, so I'm quite a tall lad. It's not the most comfortable, but you know, you get on with it. It's all part of the militarisation, I would say, but obviously completely different to civilian life back in County Durham.
Despite his time in the reserves, one major part of militarisation continues to stress him out.
Toughest challenge, as always, marching and drill. I'm always the right-hand marker because I'm the tallest, which means that everyone's in step with myself. However, I cannot march. So this is something I'm sure that the drill instructor will be my best friend by the end of this.
Learning to march is one thing, but very soon the cadets will face some serious physical challenges.
Get up, up, up. Right, stand up, sprint. Stand up, jump back down, sprint to the top, let's go.
But will they all make it through?
Good.
The Royal Navy officer cadets are handed 2 big bags of uniforms when they arrive. Now they're picking up their expedition kit, which they'll need later on in the term. Officer Cadet Charters has moved nearly 300 miles to be here.
My name's Emma. I live in Newcastle. I've got a house up there. I come from a background of project management. The last project I was working on was around digital inclusion, so basically getting people online. I was in the Royal Naval Reserves for 4 years. What pushed me to come here was the fact that I was enjoying the reserves so much that I decided I wanted more of this and less of that, and so I'm here.
Gore-Tex jacket, Gore-Tex trousers, one combat jacket, go and carry. One naughty shirt, 2 CS95.
I came knowing that it was going to be like this, and the good thing about being kept busy is you don't have time to think about it. So your life becomes about the next hour and the next 2 hours. It doesn't become about what else you could be doing. It's just about getting your kit sorted and getting on to the next job that needs to be done.
And 2 combat trousers. Thank you.
O.C. Foster is joining as a medical officer.
I'm 44 years old, which is a bit older than most of the other cadets here. I have been in the Navy before. I came through Dartmouth in 1986 as a weapons engineering officer and passed out then. I've had another career in the middle of that. I worked as an investment manager in the city. I always enjoyed working in the Navy. It was only because the Navy wouldn't let me do the job I wanted to do the first time that I left, and indeed that was something I regretted in later life anyway.
I wanted to be a submariner, and every time I did the escape training tank, I perforated my eardrums. And on the 5th time, they told me that I wasn't allowed to do it anymore.
After becoming bored as an investment manager, he trained as a doctor.
I've become a little bit disenchanted with the NHS on occasions, and also it was more coming back so I could work again with the people of the Navy, which is always a privilege.
Okay, you will tread water for 2 minutes. Okay, from then I will take you to swim. You swim down, turn around, swim back, get out the pool.
Passing the military swimming test is a must. As a second chancer, O.C. Goddard is under serious pressure to impress. The watching staff officers just make it worse. The test must be completed within 6 minutes, but many cadets struggle to haul themselves over the pool's 18-inch lip, which is meant to imitate clambering into a life raft.
Good.
Time is not on O.C. Goddard's side.
Let's go, Goddard.
found it really, really easy until it came to getting out the pool. I think I scared myself a little because I didn't get out the first time, so then I kind of exhausted myself getting out. And I think mentally I had about 12 people around the edge of the pool dragging me out. But it was difficult, and the overalls do make it a lot harder, but I got out and just the determination to get out. I wasn't going to be the only one that didn't get out and failed.
Next section, press forward.
Victorious Division is up next. Will all its candidates pass the swimming test? Unlike Ambush. O.C. Hawkins comes from a town with connections to one of Elizabethan England's naval superheroes.
I live in a small village called Buckler-Monacorum, home was Francis Drake, and after school went to university up in St Andrews, and I've been living in Edinburgh for the last 2 years, working in an office job for a financial company. I think I miss the freedom of being able to decide whether you want to go for a run that evening, decide whether you want to sit down and watch TV. It's all very regimented here still. We'll see if that slacks off a bit. But at the moment, it's still very, you've not really got any time to be not doing exactly what you need to be doing.
O.C. Butterworth is the youngest officer cadet in the entire intake.
I'm the baby of this squadron. 18 years I just left college, and I've never had any military experience before, so this is all completely new, and yeah, it's great fun. I looked at university, but that just didn't fit with my personality, because I just want what I do to be energetic, to be lively, to be full on, and just to really test me and push me.
Coming to Dartmouth has meant leaving the love of his life behind.
She's been wonderful. In my personal drawer, I have a little stack of letters, and each is numbered for a certain date, so that's such a lovely thing. And she's been so encouraging. She's loyal, and yeah, I love her, so I'm coming back to her, and she's waiting for me.
I think I'm weaker on the exercises, as you probably saw in the pool. I can do the running, pretty much. It's more the kind of constant running into exercises, back into running, all that kind of stuff.
O.C. Hawkins' 6 minutes are up.
The pool test apparently catches out a fair few people, they're not too upset about that. So just a couple of remedial classes and try again. I think it's hopefully just a question of technique. Give it a few practices, work out how to get out of the pool, and then show them I can do it, and then crack on.
It's 6 a.m. on day 5. This high-intensity dawn workout is officially called Period Zero because it starts so early. But the cadets call these punishing physical sessions beastings.
All I want is 100% effort. I know it's 6 in the morning, OK? I know it's been a learning curve, OK? But wake up, OK, and get this done now. Is that clear?
Period Zero is a rude awakening. For O.C. Subtle, literally.
We got up at 5 o'clock this morning and being yelled at and told to run around in big, uncomfortable boots that have already caused me blisters. There's no break. You can't just say, I just need a moment to get my breath back. It's constant. If you do stop or slow down, they'll make you do press-ups.
Let's go! Let's go!
I can't.
Let's go! Up. Yes, you can. Get up!
O.C. Richardson is dead on his feet. Or rather, his stomach.
Speed up! Let's go! Get up! Get up! It's your time. Move!
Work harder, sweetheart. You can do better than that.
When you go outside, there's still stars. That's how early it is. And then you're beasted about for an hour without any breakfast, with a single bottle of water. It's quite brutal. It's, for someone who's not used to that sort of thing, it's, as I say, it's quite a shock.
first time you go round.
For the cadets, the relentless physical trials continue with another must-pass test.
Well, the cadets are undergoing a warm-up for their physical training alpha, which is where they have to run a mile and a half in a time which is adjusted for their age and their sex, and that's to ensure there's a basic level of fitness to undertake the rest of the training here at BRNC. They'll have to do an annual fitness test, and they will need to remain in date for their fitness test if they want to get promoted, and if they are unable to maintain that level of fitness, then eventually the ultimate consequence will their services will be no longer required.
Okay, stand by. Best effort, guys. Go!
The cadets have to complete 8.5 laps of the AstroTurf pitch. OC Foster may struggle to do it before his 13 minutes and 2 seconds run out.
2 stop. 3 stop. 3 stop.
We do a sort of pre-joining fitness regime before we get here. Unfortunately, I sprained my ankle quite badly, so I knew I wasn't as fit as I could be.
5 minutes run. 3 stops. 4 stops. 7 stops.
With a lap to go, OC Richardson's allowance of 11 minutes and 13 seconds is almost up.
Waking up and to go to running is something I've never done in my life. Over the holidays, I've been waking up generally around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's a bit of a shock. I'm sure that I'll catch up, and I'm sure as I go on, I'll get fitter. At the moment, it's just a steep learning curve, and I need to learn to sort of climb that curve.
9:56. Straight in, guys, straight in. Get out the way. Get in there. Come on, Sam. Last effort.
I also get a bit of extra time because of my age. I actually passed the fitness test a couple of months ago anyway, and I'm glad to say I passed it this time as well.
Those cadets who failed will have to retake the fitness test and hope they pass next time. Up next, a daunting major mental
At what point did I say get off the log? Get on the log!
and physical workout lies just around the corner. Up till now, the officer cadets have been told exactly what to do. This is about to change.
Small furry animal and officer cadets have a lot in common. Do you know why? Because like my dog, when it don't do as it's told, I kick it. Yeah? And then he's good as gold. He does as he's told. You are much the same. Is that not clear? Yes. If I see that happen, I want you in order from the most northern town or city to the most southern town or city this end. I want you in that order. Go. Well, who's all right, get back on the log. At what point did I say get off the log? Get on the log!
The low ropes course is their first artificial leadership challenge.
I'm looking for the element of teamwork and to help one another. I see many of them just stood there. They're concerned about themselves because I say stay on the obstacle, but they're not looking around to help others.
You do a course for a few months, get called, sir. Minimum of a decade to be a sergeant, all right? You're insulting me, son. Sorry, sergeant.
I'm quite direct, and obviously, being a Marine, maybe a little more robust with them. They're decent people. All people are decent. I'm a believer in humanity and the decentness of people.
Grab him. To them, are you going to use both ropes to get to the middle?
OC De La Rue is itching to test his leadership style.
I'll tell you what, why don't you come out, Jonesy, you go out, and then swap in the middle, and then once you've completed, then you guys go out. You can't have everyone going out at the same time, okay?
I was born in Belgium, moved over to England in 1994, went to university, graduated from there, and went to the city for a year. There was a hole in my heart that wasn't being filled, and I knew it was going to be filled in private industry. I wanted to look back at 40 years old and be proud of what I've done in my life, and I thought serving my country and being fit and patriotic would be an excellent way to do it, especially in the Navy. But as a leader to this exercise, I thought I saw a solution to try to get my point across, and I think it works.
He has a very good reason to show he can lead.
My first Admiral's interview board I failed on leadership. I moved to personal finance in the company I was working in to gain more experience, and obviously it paid off.
You need to look after this rope. If you lose it, you're all going to burn, die and drown. Understand?
Yes, Sergeant.
Good. So that rope's now yours, missus. Carry on.
Keep holding
to the rope when you get over there. Keep hold of the rope.
I'm gobby naturally anyway. I have to tell myself to shut up. If I see a problem, I want to solve it, and so I'm straight in there. But if you've got half a dozen people shouting out suggestions, somebody just needs to shut up and let it unfold.
Officer Cadet Goddard flexes her leadership muscles, but probably wishes she hadn't.
Listen, I've got past experience. You can get 19 people on that big one. We can definitely get 24 on all three.
Shut up from now on, you.
Yes,
you and Kitson are not allowed to talk.
You ready?
With your past experience.
We just told him to shut up because I knew what to do. He'll say something and it'll sound really harsh and everything, but he's forgotten about it 2 seconds later. And he'll even say that, you know, he'll shout at you, you know, give you a proper bollocking, and then, oh, it's forgotten.
Last one, guys.
I'm leaning out. I'm leaning out here. Use the edges. Use the edges and lean back of the guys in the middle.
First Division, look at me. Imagine having a picture took. There's a coach going past, look. They can now see those civilians on a coach tour what the Royal Navy does, look, in training. So you're not getting off till that coach has gone past.
Well done, guys.
A simple but crucial part of militarisation is to get the cadets to turn up in the right place with the right kit at the right time.
You know you're meant to have Bergens for this lesson.
No, we won't, Staff, no.
No? Right, go back to your division and get your Bergens. All right, and I want you back here yesterday. Understand?
Yes, Staff. Yes.
Go.
Bergens are the backpacks the cadets will live out of when they practice their basic fieldcraft skills later on in the training.
OK, class, not a good start this morning. Not only were you late for the lesson, OK, you turned up without the right gear. OK, it is not good enough. All right, and we'll be sorting that out after this lesson. Luckily for me, this goes into your stand easy time, so you've now lost your stand easy time. All right, time management, people, get it right. The lesson we're going to give them today is basically a brief on Bergens, how to wear a Bergen, and basically how to walk in combat boots, up and down hills, little briefs on that as well. So it's, you know, a case of taking them out the comfort zone. A couple of weeks ago, this group of people were civvies, you know, we're trying to turn them into, you know, sailors in weeks.
The officer cadets call this Cardiac Hill.
As far as boots and Bergens lessons go, all right, this is the tip of the iceberg at the moment. So all you people at the moment with lungs like a wasp, stop feeling sorry for yourself and stop giving me the puppy dog eyes. I'm not interested. OK, it was your decision to be here. If you don't like it, you know where the main gate is. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Any questions on that? OK.
O.C. Robinson's stint as a Royal Navy reservist isn't helping him.
The Royal Naval Reserve does not prepare you. The fitness element is crucial. As you saw this morning, a lot of people struggled. You would like to think that come 5, 6 weeks' time that those people will be running up down that hill no problem.
For O.C. de la Rue, his patriotism is driving him on.
I really enjoyed it, actually. I'm very proud to be joining a military organisation. I feel very strongly about serving my country and fiercely patriotic, so very proud to be here. And doing something like that with a whole group of similar-minded people, it's good fun.
Come on. Pick it up, come on! Let's go from now then.
Cardiac Hill makes a bad situation worse for O.C. Butterworth.
Boots and Bergens PT, where they just break your boots in and break your back at the same time. It's a great challenge, but it's definitely pretty hard.
O.C. Foster agrees.
Yeah, I'm very aware that I am a bit older and therefore a bit slower. But I just still enjoy it. Might not enjoy it at the time, of course, but I do afterwards.
After flunking the military swimming test first time round, O.C. Hawkins has had remedial classes Now he and the other strugglers are about to try again.
Okay, swim. Turn around. Turn around.
Well, I'm a perfectly good swimmer. Used to be a lifeguard. Just quite embarrassed I failed the first time, to be honest.
Kick your legs. Good lad, get over the top. Good. Okay, stand up there.
Glad to say I passed this time round. Worked out what I needed to do. It was actually quite easy. Just a question of technique. Fingers crossed that'll be the first and last failure that I have here.
It's the evening before Frantic Friday, which signals the end of the cadets' first fortnight of militarisation. So far, they haven't had a single day off, and tomorrow will be their hardest day yet. But there's no escaping the usual daily 8 p.m. rounds, so they've got to make sure their cabins are spick and span.
They always find dust somewhere. There's always somewhere that you miss in here. It's what you'll do to ratings in the Royal Navy. So, you know, you've got to be able to reach those standards to be able to expect anybody else to reach them. And you shouldn't be telling, you know, ratings to do something you didn't do yourself.
Tonight, Ambush and Victorious divisions will be inspected by their own divisional officers.
Ours is Victorious, Lieutenant Shaw. She's going to come round. If it's not good enough, then she'll make us re-scrub and do it all again. And obviously, we want an early night. It's a big day tomorrow, Frantic Friday.
Ambush division's preparations are running late.
Have we had a Hoover go round?
Not yet.
We got one. Normally we'd be essentially ready at this point, so the pressure's on a little bit more. And of course it's the last one before this Frantic Friday business kicks off tomorrow, so again there's more pressure to get it right.
Cabin hope! Cabin hope! Cabin hope! Cabin stand up, east.
The main point of my rounds is to check for cleanliness, and also as a duty of care to make sure that they're still motivated, to pick up any concerns about them, but they're all in very good spirits, all very determined, all anxious to succeed tomorrow. Merci de la rue.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Good. You've got a small mark on this shirt.
It's polished, sir.
Polish. Polish your shoes in your good shirts.
Very last second, sir.
Right. I need to make sure that they're at a standard where my line manager can go around tomorrow and be happy that they're ready to progress through the training.
If the cadets pass Frantic Friday, they'll be let off these daily inspection rounds.
Motivation still high?
Of course it is.
Good. Good.
We've all got to develop our leadership style. We've got to learn the techniques the Royal Navy wants us to use. The workload's starting to rack up now. So just keeping on top of that has been a bit of a challenge.
You've got a PT Alpha remedial. What's the time you need to achieve?
11 minutes 13, sir. PT, physical training. It's never something I've been particularly strong on, and it's going to be a struggle, I think, for me. Especially boots and Bergens, running up and down the hill, that was not easy times, and I've got horrible blisters on my feet from it.
The sea parents were checking to make sure their kit was in good order, and it was. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that, and I should report that they're ready for Frantic Friday tomorrow.
The cadets may be ready for Frantic Friday, but they still haven't got a clue what to expect. After 2 weeks of militarisation, the only thing they know for sure is that they'll be tested like never before.
Run, run! Are you guys ready for Frantic Friday? Yes, sir! Good, we'll be watching.
And one cadet will realise that the Royal Navy is not for them. It's 6 a.m. on Frantic Friday. Today, the officer cadets will face their biggest test so far. Yet, as the contents of their backpacks are inspected, they're still in the dark about what's actually in store.
50!
First to slip up is O.C. Richardson. He packed his kit badly. His penalty? A circuit of the parade ground. Meanwhile, OC Hawkins is paying the price for taking too long to repack his backpack.
Your choice.
Totally wrong.
Criticism can be a bit hard to take. You just got to kind of man up and fix whatever you've been doing wrong and try not to have it happen again, basically. You can get a bit annoyed with the person giving it to you, but they're doing it for the right reasons. One day we'll have to be in a position that we give criticism to other people, so it's only fair that we go through ourselves.
For now, the cadets have 30 minutes to eat breakfast, change uniform and line up in their divisions for inspection on the tennis courts.
You've got tram lines on the back of your trousers, so that's 10.
Do you check each other over before you came out here? This one.
This one.
You sure? This one. Will you do it properly? Because if I'm picking stuff up, clearly you didn't.
In the pursuit of uniform perfection, the slightest mistakes equal punishment.
Okay, that's 20 press-ups you and me. Go!
Right, all of you down for 5 press-ups. Front row, quickly, move. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in all divisions, listen in, okay? The next detail is going to be a brief on the parade ground. You are to be there, ready to go, fallen in all respects by 0745.
Cue a mad dash to the parade ground.
Follow the road, straight away, let's go, front!
That's 4 minutes. Let's chalk it and stay together. Race it, stay together.
The cadets have been on the go for nearly 2 hours, yet it's only now that they're going to get the heads up on what's expected of them on Frantic Friday.
I first laid eyes on you the Monday before last, and to be honest, I wasn't that impressed. I just saw a bunch of civvies standing around. But now, I'm starting to see military people. That said, it's all very well looking the part, but today we're going to find out if you can act the part. Today is the first opportunity you've got to prove that you've got the grit and determination necessary to be a naval officer. Today is about proving that you're the best and that your division's the best. So, are you guys ready for Frantic Friday?
Yes, sir!
Good. We'll be watching.
Militarisation is unforgiving. It's not even 8 AM, but the heat is on the cadets to change quickly for another uniform inspection, and for the unlucky ones, more press-ups. The non-stop pressure is continually mounting on the cadets leading the divisions.
Run, run!
Stand still. Everyone stood at ease. Stand at ease.
Shut up and face the front. Stop fidgeting.
Belt buckle's not in the middle. It's off centre. That one there.
10.
At least. There's a black hair there.
OC Hawkins sprained his thumb packing his backpack last night. His divisional officer gets one of his teammates to do his punishment.
Mr. Plant, do you want to do his 10 press-ups because he's broken?
It may seem like rough justice, but every cadet is expected to make sure they all look immaculate.
It's a lot of things that seem silly. If you don't iron something absolutely perfectly, they'll shout at you. Before, I don't care if my clothes were ironed to perfection.
So what are they? There's the tramline stuff. Tramlines and stuff.
You
What are they doing there?
each other over.
They like pushing your feet. There you go, 10 press-ups. Stuff. Good enough. Do it now, see. Good effort.
But there's no rest for the wicked. Frantic Friday includes an exam on the nautical rules of the road. Less than 3 hours into the day and the manic schedule is beginning to show. Next up is PT Bravo, a grueling hour-long gym session. After 5 frenetic hours, Frantic Friday unleashes easily the most physically draining task of the day, the Teamwork Challenge, also known as the Fred Run.
Get your knees up!
The introduction is a warm-up beasting by a no-nonsense Royal Marine officer.
Backside down. Get that backside down, sweetheart.
Hands on the floor.
Go!
My name's Captain Chris Bow. I'm a Royal Marines Exchange Officer. My role here is the Leadership Training Officer, working within the Royal Naval Leadership Academy.
Red, blue. No, face me. What have we been doing all morning? Knees up.
The level of fitness is broad, and indeed there are guys and girls that are clearly exceptionally fit. There are certainly those that have to work considerably harder.
What's up with you, sweetheart? Knees up. Press ups, down. Stand up. Do not be last. Don't touch me.
The Fred Run sees each division racing across the college grounds while hauling 2 16-stone dummy casualties on makeshift stretchers, picking up more equipment as they go. It ends when they've put up a tent and placed their dummies inside. With the latest gruelling exercise over, it's time for yet another lightning uniform change and back on the parade ground. Several are literally asleep on their feet.
Drill itself isn't fun. Going out onto the parade ground and standing around for a couple of hours marching isn't fun. It's just hard work and you've just got to grit and bear it and get through it.
Victorious! Eyes right! Okay, just into line them, just press them. All right, I'll take you around there. Eyes right!
Nearly 10 hours into Frantic Friday, the cadets prepare for their final task. Yet another inspection, but this time by their squadron officers.
Perennial risk with the tricorn, the stitching coming undone. Your stitch is quite loose on that side.
You need to put more work into that 5 foot where we've given you then.
How are you this afternoon?
I'm very well actually, sir. Mum. Scrubbed up.
If you don't know the answer, senior officer asks you a question. I don't know, but I will get back to you.
Yes, Mum.
12 hours after the cadets first gathered on the parade ground, Frantic Friday ends with a pep talk by Commander T, the officer in overall charge of training at Dartmouth.
Good evening, new entry.
Good evening, sir.
Bang on time, well done. You've made a good start today. You all have potential. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. That said, the training here is hard. Some of you will fail. I make no excuses about that, but some of you will. Failure is good. It's healthy. It's a reward for those that remain. Provides an incentive. Hope you've all got that.
Yet for one officer cadet, Frantic Friday has killed off their ambitions of graduating as a Royal Navy officer. O.C. Hawkins has decided to drop out.
Once you pass Frantic Friday, you have a long weekend to kind of relax, think about the world, and unfortunately for me, that was sort of the point at which I started thinking, do I actually want to end up doing this? I think one of the big things that changed was you had to do another training course straight away after Dartmouth. It, in effect, took 2 years before you really got into the fleet and started doing a job, whereas when initially I applied, you did Dartmouth and then pretty much went straight off to your first job. As soon as you lose the commitment to get through it all, it just falls apart.
The remaining officer cadets that made it through the exhausting first phase of militarisation have much to look forward to, but much more to worry about. Coming up in part 2...
It was the worst 4 days of my entire life.
I was pleased it was dark because I was crying.
Naval professionalism in a meal to the max.
I was glad to see him go. It showed that the training is tough enough to get rid of those who aren't good enough to make it.